Hello and OMG, welcome back to my channel where today I have a different kind of video because I am going to be doing a get ready with me, but also sharing with you all why I chose not to go to law school. So if you want to see what are the factors that led to such a major life decision, then go ahead and keep on watching. So if you have stumbled across this video, it's either because you're already subscribed to my channel and you know that my name is Legal Beauty, which I'm thinking about changing, and I'm going to go into why, because this video is to basically share with you all why I decided not to go to law school. If you are somebody who is on the fence about it, is looking into research, maybe looking at videos, seeing why people went to law school and why they didn't, I am here to tell you why. So stick around. I'm going to be doing my makeup in this video because this is a beauty lifestyle related channel. So I'm going to talk basically about how I got into the idea of going to law school, my research, and then what led me to the main decision to not pursue this dream of mine that I have had. Sorry, my family's texting me. Let me go ahead and mute that. So while I get ready, I'm going to go ahead and talk through why. So first, I'm going to be applying the Basic Beauty Eyeshadow Primer. I haven't applied this on my eyes before, but we're going to go ahead and do the eyes first today. Okay, so we're going to scratch that on this eyeshadow primer. It is not squirting out of the little components. So I'm just going to go ahead and use the Too Faced Born This Way Multi-Use Sculpting Concealer in the color Swan as my eyeshadow base. So just to give you a background, I went to college in 2010. I graduated in 2016. And at that time, social media was not really a thing. The fashion industry wasn't really booming per se, like boutiques and all of that. So a lot of us who graduated high school from the 2000s to, I don't know, like 2016, I would say, because I graduated college in 2016, but I graduated high school in 2010. But I would say during that era, basically when you were in high school, you were in your senior year, you were planning to decide your path in life, right? Are you going to go to a community college or are you going to go to a 4-year? And I was so set on a 4-year. I just felt like if I didn't get into a 4-year college, that I was basically ashamed that I was a failure. And there's nothing wrong with going to a 2-year college. Looking back now, I have so much regrets because of the amount of college debt that I have. So at that time though, it was basically like, if you were like, you know, a senior, junior, senior in high school, you wanted, like, the thing was to go to a 4-year. It meant that you knew what you wanted to do in life. It basically meant, like, you know, you had a little pathway forward. For eyeshadow, I'm going to be using this Phase Zero eyeshadow palette. It's called the Necessities eyeshadow palette. This came in a BoxyCharm. My mom let me have it because she's not going to use it, so we're going to be trying this out for the first time today. It looks like a really nice palette where there's a lot of like nudes. This is perfect for the fall time, which is slowly approaching upon us. So this is a really good palette for us. So we're going to go ahead and dabble into this one while I keep talking about what led to my decision. So like I was saying, when I was in high school, that was kind of like the thing, right? You wanted to know if you were going to a 2-year or a 4-year. And if you were going to a 4-year, it was basically seen as more of an accomplishment than going to a 2-year. And I'm pretty sure it's the same thing now, but when you are when you're in high school and you are a junior, I'm going into this color right here, by the way. When you are a junior or a senior in high school, you're pretty much already supposed to like know what is it that you want to do, right? Which is so hard looking back now to put on somebody so young, to think that at that age, we already know what we want to do with our life. We already know what major we want to choose in college. What's crazy is that, you know, as you get older, things change in life. Your dreams change, your aspirations change, your priorities change, your personal life changes, everything changes, right? So at that time, it was basically like the way to be successful was either, okay, you're either going to go to business school, be a doctor or a lawyer, or go into healthcare. And those were basically like the things that, you know, you chose from. And so for me, I always knew like I was really good at arguing. And I knew that I won a lot of arguments with like my parents or just friends, family, whatever. So I was like, okay, I want to go to law school. I had my heart set on law school. And I remember in high school, when I was thinking about going to college, I obviously would talk to my parents about what I want to do. And when it was time for me to go to college and I had to choose my major, my dad helped me choose, and he helped me choose political science because political science was one of the majors that students who are aspiring to go to law school would choose from. It was either, criminal justice, psychology, poli-sci, I want to say English or whatever. But what interested me most out of all of those was political science. Now, I went to California State University, Dominguez Hills, and I was such a motivated little college student, right? I had law school on my mind. I was law school gung-ho. Now, mind you, I had not done any research into exactly what law school entails, what being a lawyer entails, work-life balance and all of that, because at such a young age, you're basically supposed to choose your career path. And I was kind of choosing it based on name, like, oh my God, a lawyer, like it's badass. I'm going to be a boss bitch. I'm going to make all kinds of money. All I care about is work, 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 work. And so that was basically the career path that I chose. In fact, I was so gung-ho onto getting into law school that more towards my junior, senior years of college, I was one of the founding fathers of the Pre-Law Society at Cal State Dominguez Hills. And so me and a group of students had started that on our campus. And basically it was like a group where we would help each other study for the LSAT, which is basically like an entrance exam to get into law school. We would go to law schools to visit the campuses, forums, everything like pre-law related for someone looking into going to law school is kind of like what we covered. For underneath my brow bone, I'm going to go into this shimmer shade. There's no names on this palette, so I'm just going to have to go by describing what they look like. So while I was in college, I was super gung-ho on going to law school. I had made a lot of friends in college, and they all knew like law school was my thing. I would call myself pre-law princess, and I was like the girl that everybody knew wanted to be a lawyer, especially because I was one of the founding fathers of the Pre-Law Society. Now, fast forward to graduation, right? So throughout college, that was the thing that I wanted to do, had my mind set on it. So graduation comes, right? I graduate in 2016 and I'm completely burnt out from school, right? I've been in college for 6 years. And the reason why I was in college for 6 years was because I was determined to graduate with honors. And if I had stayed one more year and picked up a minor, I would make honors. And so I graduated with actually a double minor. I got my bachelor's degree in political science with a double minor in communications and sociology. When I had already accomplished like my minor for communications, I was on the cusp of making honors. And I was like, you know what? I'm not walking down that aisle for graduation unless I'm graduating with honors and in red bottoms. That was like my thing. So I stayed an extra year to acquire a sociology minor underneath my belt so that I could make honors, because I was basically almost like a straight A student. So of course I made it. And with graduation, I made honors. Now I was burnt the fuck out from school. And when I graduated, everybody knew that law school was like where I wanted to go. So I started studying for the LSAT again. I had taken a year off from college. And during that time, I was actually, really starting to see what a day in the life of a lawyer entails. I had met a couple of law school students who would tell me how their life was. And I graduated at like 23 years old. So when I went into college, I was only 17, 18 years old. I think I started at 17 years old. I turned 18 the first year of college. At 17, 18 years old, you have no life experience. You have you're bumping your head into walls. Like you think you know what you want. You think you know it all. You think you know how life works. You don't. You don't at all. So if you're someone who's really young watching this, don't take offense to that, but you literally have no life experience. You have not lived through crazy life situations where you've had to make very adult decisions that change your perspective, change your reasoning, change your values, your morals, your ethics, change everything, right? Fast forward to 23, 24 years old when I graduated, my mindset started to change, right? Because when I was in college, I was never eligible for student help, FAFSA, none of that. So I had to work full time to put myself through college. And I worked for a telecom company that really gave me so much life experience that I needed and really kind of showed me what work-life balance would have to entail. And I was making a lot of money at a young age for what I was doing. So when I graduated, I was, still making very good money for a brand new, college degree student, right? Usually when you come out of college, you're broke as shit. Not in my case. I was making pretty damn good money. I was living at home. So I had a good amount full in my way. But then I started to really look into what being a lawyer meant and what that work schedule looked like. I'm going to go in on the inner corners with this shimmer shade right here. So, after graduation, everyone's asking, what are you going to do next? What are you going to do next? Obviously, I was telling people like, I want to go to law school. The next time you see me, you're going to see me walking down, the aisle because I graduated from law school with my Juris Doctoral degree. I was even looking into joint programs, the JD MBA program, where you get a law degree and a business degree. But that is when my research and my decision making really kicked into gear. And I was like, you know what? This is a lot going on. I need to take a year off and really figure out what it is that, I want to do. I definitely want to go to law school, but I need to take a year off. So I took a year off. And in between then I was, here and there studying for the law school, here and there randomly meeting law school students along the way, just, randomly at work, whatever, people telling you about their experiences. And every single law school student or lawyer I had talked to hated the decision they made. And a lot of the reasonings was because the ones who had graduated law school were saying how in-depth they were and how hard it was to get anywhere with, to start at a firm with a decent salary. And then I also had a cousin who had just graduated law school, who I think we had to start out as a public defender, who absolutely hated it. His life was basically work, and he had just gotten married, and it was really nothing else. And as I got older, I started to realize, like, maybe Helena isn't the person who wants their life to be entirely work. Because when I was younger, I didn't care about relationships. I didn't care about having a family. I didn't care about any of it. I just wanted work and I wanted wealth. That's all I wanted. I wanted money, 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 money. And that's all I cared about. My mindset was so different when I was younger looking back. But now that I was 24, I was turning 25, 26, 27, I still hadn't chosen to go to law school. And it really wasn't like officially like a decision for me to like my later 20s. I'm 29, so more towards maybe like 26, 27, 28. Was when I fully came to terms with that law school is just a dream, and it'll always be a dream of yours. It will always be something that in the back of your mind, you're going to wish you would have done because you know you can do it. You know you have it in you. But is that the lifestyle that you want? Is that the work that you want? And what ultimately helped me make my decision not to go to law school was essentially really looking into what would my work-life balance be? And there would be none. I don't know any lawyers out there who essentially have a healthy work-life balance. Essentially, your job becomes your life because your cases are real people, and their fate of a lawsuit, whatever case it is, whatever it entails, a family case, a criminal case, a real estate case, a corporate case, whatever case may be, their fate relies in your hands, in your ability to defend your client and prove beyond reasonable doubt that they are not guilty of whatever they're being accused of, things of that sort. And so I had not met one lawyer or law school student who was like, I totally recommend this, do it, it's going to be the best decision you ever made. Not one person I talked to was happy about their decision. They said if they could go back, they would have chosen something else. But they are already too far deep and too much in law school debt to go back in time. And things for me on a personal level did change. I got married at a young age to my current spouse right now. And it's not that my relationship turned me away from law school, but I realized, okay, if I want to have a relationship not only with my spouse, with my family, with people who are important to me, I'm not going to have that if I go to law school. My career would have to come before everybody. It would have to come before my dad, my mom, my sisters, my spouse, my family, everything. I would miss family events. I would miss, fun events, life events, vacations, all of that. And that was something that I started to internalize and realize that is not for me. I thought that was going to be for me. I thought that I could isolate myself and want to be this badass female lawyer. I wanted to be like the first one in the family, but I realized that is literally going to take my entire life. It's going to literally be no balance. I'm going to miss out on so much stuff. And when I was in college, I already had to sacrifice a lot. You miss out on a lot of events. You miss out on a lot of activities because you're working so hard towards your degree. And I was like, okay, am I really willing to sacrifice more of my time with people I love the most over a career that at the end of the day, yes, it's going to pay me and I will have that monetary wealth, but I'm not going to be happy doing what I'm doing, and I'm not going to love what I'm doing because it's going to consume me in a very unhealthy way. All right, we're going to move on to face. I'm going to go ahead and use the Too Faced Born This Way 24-hour undetectable super long wear foundation in the color Swan. My family means the world to me. I have a very, very, very close relationship with my family. I see them as much as I can. And I understand that oh my God, this is way too late. Okay, we're going to have to mix this with another foundation. I'm going to go ahead and keep applying this on. If I were to have chosen to go to law school, I would not be able to have the time and the relationships I have now with my sisters, with my mom, with my dad, with my family, with my spouse. And it's not to say that they are the reason why I didn't go, but it was fully my decision why I chose not to go. And it's simply because I decided to educate myself more on what a lawyer's life looks like, what their work life looks like, what their personal life looks like. A lot of lawyers do suffer from alcoholism and depression. Because of how intense their job is, there is a very, very high divorce rate. I know that they do not get to spend a lot of time with their families because they are so consumed by their work. And yes, it's probably the most rewarding thing in the world to win a case and to know that you made a difference in somebody's life. But I was not willing to take on that career at the expense of me losing time with my loved ones. Now, I'm pretty sure there's people out there who will argue and say, no, you can have a work-life balance, but I think it comes down to when you're making a decision to either, go to law school, med school, something that is going to take years and years and years of your time, and then to dive into a career that just makes you absolutely depressed and unhappy and doesn't give you a healthy work-life balance. I think that if you know yourself well enough to know that you're not going to be able to balance it all, then don't take that leap of faith and think that you can do it. And I know myself. I know that I could handle law school. I know that it is something that I could get through. But is that the actual lifestyle that I want? Am I willing to miss more life events, more sentimental things that happen in life just because of a paycheck or just because of a title of a job that's seen as very successful in the world? No, I'm not. I'm not at all. And I think that's the beauty of taking your time in college and post-college, post-degree, to decide what it is that you want in life. I think it's so unfortunate that when you start college or you go straight into nursing school or whatever, you're kind of forced into deciding what it is that you want, and you really don't know what you want. You're kind of just going with the flow and what you think you want, not knowing that there is literally so much behind it. There's so many decisions behind these major moves that you make. Like, for example, I know so many people who have gone to nursing school or who have gone to be doctors, and they hate it. They absolutely hate it. It is not what they thought it was going to be. It's not what they signed up for. They're actually miserable with their decision, but it's almost in a way too late to go back and reverse, what they went to school for. Now, some people may say it's never too late, but for some people, they don't have the time and money to go back and redo a whole ass degree. And I'm not complaining about what a lawyer's job is. Props to them. I think that, they're obviously so essential to us. I mean, we need lawyers. We need those people to defend us when companies, wrongfully treat employees. We need them for the justice system. We need them for everything. We really, really do. They are essential to the function of our society, but it's something that I don't want to be a part of. And I've decided, I'm the type of person now, but back then I was kind of like a workaholic. Now I want to be able to have something of my own that isn't going to require me to put myself hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt over a degree. I want to be able to have something where I can have a work-life balance, where I can still be able to make time for my family, loved ones, and my spouse without having to feel like, okay, no, I have to work. Like, no, sorry, I can't go to that. I have to work. Or sorry, I'm going to have to leave this dinner early because I have a case. That's not the life I wanted. Now moving forward, with my decision to fully not go to law school, it is something that I think about a lot, because it's like, damn, dude, that was your dream. It was something that everybody, every single person who knew you knew that you wanted this. It was something you talked about, you craved, you worked so hard towards, you paid thousands for studying for the LSAT. But I would rather have gone through all of that and be able to make an educated decision, be like, you know what? It's not for me. It's not for me at all. I don't want that life. I don't want to have to divulge in a career where I'm going to experience, really, really insane high levels of stress, which, mind you, stress is such a silent killer in the United States or anywhere, I would say. Stress will literally kill you. It's all tied into your blood pressure and everything. And stress, I was so stressed out in school. I was so stressed out working a full-time job and everything like that I was like, you know what, I can't do this for the rest of my life. I need to have some type of happiness. So going forward, now that, I have my degree, I've had my degree in poli-sci. My degree has absolutely nothing to do with what I do today for a living, which is crazy to me. Like, I put myself through all those years of schooling because I was so set on this dream of law school, because I had this fantasy image of me as like this badass lawyer who just makes money and all she cares about is her wealth. She doesn't care about anything else. So now that I have this degree based on that dream that I have, I can't really put my degree to as much use as I would like, because it's not in business. It's not in anything of that sort, but I'm doing pretty well for someone who decided not to pursue law school. Now, what is it that I want to do? I wish when I was in college, when I was in high school, I wish social media was a thing, but it's not, because I've always been super into beauty. And, when I was in school, beauty was kind of like looked down upon because it was such a competitive industry and there wasn't really opportunity there. It's either you had to be like a celebrity makeup artist to make it far, you had to be well known, things of that sort. So, I wish back then I would have pursued my YouTube channel then, but again, it just wasn't something that was, seen as what you should do to be successful. So I have started my YouTube channel. I've been on here for quite some time, slowly growing. And what it is that I want in life, I want my own businesses. I want my own clothing boutique. It is something that I would love to launch, maybe sometime next year. It takes a lot of work, effort, and research. So it's something that I really have to, oh my God, I put way too much powder. Something I really have to kickstart researching into and look into all of that. Too much powder. I really, really want businesses of my own because I want to be able to be my own boss. I want to have that work-life balance. And I know people say that, when you have your own business, like, it is a 24-hour thing. If you do anything in regards to social media, you can't really clock in and out. Like, it's kind of like an all day, everyday type of thing. But I would be so much happier knowing that I pursued something that's going to fulfill me and my happiness and is going to ultimately make me happy, because I am such a girly girl. I am such a beauty girl. I've always been into fashion, hair, makeup, trends, everything, right? So those are my goals. Is I want my own businesses. One of them, I would love to have a clothing boutique. It is something that I definitely want to start to work hard towards very soon. So those are the routes I've taken. And obviously I have my YouTube channel here where I'm definitely trying to grow, my audience, so you guys can get to know me more. I eventually will probably get on TikTok and Reels, just because I know that with algorithm, Instagram doesn't really put your stuff out there. So it's very, very hard to grow. So that is something that I will most likely be looking into doing. But in the meantime, I have absolutely no regrets for my decision of choosing not to go to law school. I'm actually happier with myself for making the decision to not go to law school, just because I know I would have put myself so far in debt. I know that I would have had to completely change my routines, my relationships with my family, with my spouse. Everything would change, right? You're not able to work. So, that would, be difficult. So, I mean, it's such a huge decision where you have to look at it as, are you emotionally, physically, and financially ready to take on putting yourself through something so rigorous? And then after, are you willing to take on and live with that lifestyle for the rest of your career? Now, there's very happy, successful lawyers out there, but I did not meet a lot of them. And the ones that I did meet, their advice was, choose something else that you think is going to make you happier. Now, I made the decision, right? I made that decision where, no, this is not for me. So in no way, shape, or form did anyone make this decision for me. It is something that I made on my own. It's also something, like I was saying, I don't regret making this decision, but it is something that I do think about, damn, dude. You always had that vision of yourself. Are you never going to, you're never going to have that. But at the end of the day, law school will always be there. If it is something that I ultimately want to challenge myself and put myself through, I can always go back to studying for it. I can always revisit that idea. But for now, that dream is going to stay a dream. It's going to stay a dream that I have. It's going to stay forever in the back burner because it's just not something I'm willing to commit myself to. And I think when you make a decision when it comes to your career, it is so important. And I really think that schools should push this, is to help students make decisions where they're not going to regret it, where they're going to really take into account work-life balance, happiness, personal relationships, hobbies, things that make you happy. Because at the end of the day, your job can't make you entirely happy. You have to be able to have those relationships with other people, with your family, with whomever it may be. And that is also such a huge part of life. That also is what makes people really happy. And so I want to be able to be my own boss eventually, hopefully one day, and be able to just enjoy my time here on this earth rather than stress about my career and my cases and my clients for the rest of my life. So if you're someone who is so on the fence and it's something that you've told your entire family, this is what you want to do, and everyone is standing behind you, you've had family financially endorse you, pay for things to help you get into law school, do not worry about changing your mind and turning down all the help and everything that they've ever given you. There is literally, in my opinion, no offense to be taken, because at the end of the day, you're going to be the one putting yourself through that schooling. You're going to be the one staying up all those late nights, away from family, away from friends, away from everything, because you're going to have to put your studies first. You're going to have to put that all first. You're going to have to sacrifice so much of your life. And it's so easy for someone to say, oh, you're young, just do it, but they're not the ones who are going to live it. So if you are someone who is really debating into going into law school, you're kind of lost, you can't really decide on what you want to do, I would say really take a look deep within yourself and think of who you are as a person and what makes you happiest. Like, what is it that brings you joy? What is it that helps take away the stress from your mind? For me, I love being around family. I love shopping. I love makeup. I like working out. I like, being healthy. I like spending time with obviously people who I love the most, and with my hubby, and doing things. And we have so much life to live. And what makes me happy are all of those things. And I can't really do a lot of the things that I love if I were to have chosen that career path. I would have had to give up a lot of my younger years, and a lot of my going into now my 30s and my 40s are years that I want to be able to travel and do things that I love, see the world, spend as much time with my family as possible. I wouldn't be able to do those things had I had chosen the law school route. So if you are someone who is thinking about what it is that you want to do for the rest of your life, look at to what ultimately makes you happy. What hobbies are they? What people are they? What tasks are they? How long are those tasks? Like, what would it entail for you to constantly fulfill those things that make you happy? And will the career that you want fit into the picture and work alongside it, or if it's going to work against it? If it's going to work against it, I would say find something else that you're passionate about, that you are going to be able to be happy about. And I think it's so important for these younger generations to choose paths that are going to make them happy, that are also going to financially take care of themselves, but where they're not sacrificing their mental health for a career. What also has helped me make a decision, and this is like, completely different for those of you who have not experienced this yet, but sometimes you encounter things with your health or the health of family members that really changes your perspective on life, of what matters the most. And that has also helped make the decision for me of what matters to me in this lifetime. So always think about, that as well. If there's people around you who maybe in your family are not in good health or need help, is that something that you're willing to miss out on and not be able to help them for a career? Or could you choose something else where you're able to tend to that and still be successful and happy with your career? The lip liner I use is in the color Sweetheart from Morphe. By the way, I really enjoyed this Phase Zero palette. It is perfect for like an everyday look for an everyday person. So if it is, if you're in the market for something that's on the neutral side, please get this palette. It's so good. For lipstick, I used the color Honey from Morphe, and it is one of their mattes. This is the final look, and I hope this video was very important to you all. For those of you who are looking into going into law school or have already made their decision, or kind of looking as to why other people did, and even if you've been someone who subscribed to my channel wondering why I have the name Legal Beauty, I am really thinking about changing the name just because I'm not going down the law school path. And the whole reason why I made this YouTube channel was to show that I could be a girl in law and also a girl in beauty, but I am someone who wants something else in life. So I'm thinking about changing the channel's name and my Instagram name. Don't know just yet because it is a little sentimental to me, but hence that is why the name is there. So anyways, for those of you again who are kind of contemplating law school, or if you've been here for a while, just kind of want to know the update on that for me, that is where I'm at. So I hope this video was very informative for you all. Please give it a big thumbs up. Please subscribe to my channel. Click that bell so you get notified of every time that I do upload a video. Always remember to be kind and spread peace, love, and happiness. I will see you all in my next video.